Welcome, everybody, to Funeral Nation episode 70. The big 70, Jeff. This is the last episode before ICCFA. Is that right? Correct? Is that right? Or we have?
No, we got one more
we
next
got one
week.
more. Okay, I'm getting excited about Nashville already. So, what do we got coming up on today's episode?
Man, we have a funeral industry superlative. Our spotlight goes overseas, and the WTF is a new Chicago style hearse. And of course, we're brought to this is all brought out to our folks by our fast funding group. How about roll that promo?
Hi, I'm Brad Speaks from Speaks Funeral Home in Independence, Missouri. We've used a number of companies to help us with our insurance assignments, and C&J Financial is really heads and shoulders above what we've been used to in the past. Several reasons why I think they do such a great job for us. They pay quickly, so our cash flow is much improved, and instead of taking maybe months to get paid, we typically receive our payment within a day or two. Their website is customer friendly, and they've got technological tools that make it easy for our staff to accomplish their work. They do their investigating before they dive in with a bunch of questions so that they know what they're talking about and are very knowledgeable. They're easy to work with. The people are nice, very pleasant, which is important, but they also have a working knowledge of our business and all of the ins and outs of the transactions, and that's important. For what they do, their fee is very reasonable, and it's hard to imagine how we did this on our own without them, but we couldn't be more pleased with the way that they treat us.
Well, Jeff, this week, I think the biggest buzz is that Legacy.com was bought out again. So by another investment group that took a majority stake in the company. It's interesting in that article about that, they are building out an LA office that is focused on the whole memorialization side of Legacy.com. So, I think Legacy has always kind of been looked at as the bad boy of the obituary and memorialization side of the business. And it seems like they're making a real big push and play to try to partner with funeral homes in some way. But I don't know. I think it's tough for funeral homes to get on that bandwagon.
Hey, I'm with you. And it sounds like they have enough money that they don't need a funeral home. So
It's
that
true.
train may have left the station.
All right.
By the way, who brought us this week's buzz?
This week's buzz is brought to us by the great folks at aftercare.com. Roll it.
Are you a funeral director who just can't find time to follow up with your families? We all know how important aftercare is, but meeting with families and running a funeral home doesn't leave much time for anything else. The Aftercare Card Program is an automated program that sends out 4 cards plus a survey to your families during the first year following a loss. You simply go to aftercare.com and enroll your family and you're done. It literally takes about a minute and the cost is only $20 per family. Visit aftercare.com today to learn more and get a free sample.
This week's question, the more you know minute, is going to be fired at you, my brother. So are you ready?
Bring it.
This comes from Mike in Illinois. What should I be looking for on my P&L?
Well, hopefully you're looking for some P. That's profit, no L. All right. There is a correlation between the GPL and the P&L, and that equals EBITDA. That's a big old stuff. But the bottom line is you're looking for profit, how much you brought in, what's your overhead without what you had to pay out, and then how much do you keep. If you got an L, you need to call me. If you got a little P, you need to call me too. All right.
Excellent.
That's welcome to the Funeral Nation TV show.
Thanks,
We finally got you here. So
Finally.
please tell. I know it's like, gosh, man, this we can't chase you all over the country because you're running. We just had to wait till you slow down. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. First generation funeral director and embalmer. I, like most of the FN Nation, started in the funeral home, washing cars, and if I was lucky, maybe even get to aspirate or sew up an autopsy body or something real nice like that as a young high school getting ready to go off to college. So I couldn't decide, if I wanted to do that. I ended up going off into the Air Force and grew up a little bit.
Thank you for your service, my man.
You're welcome. So grew up a little bit, came back and went to the Dallas Institute of Funeral Service. So spent most of my time in the prep room when I was active in the funeral profession. And then for the last 20 years, I've been on the vendor side. So 16 of that with Wilbert, and the last 4 of that with Pierce.
Well, I tell you what, I love Fix because I need it often. So good job with Pierce.
Great choice. Great choice.
Yeah, keeps me nice and tan too.
It does. It does.
Hey, so for those who don't know a lot about Pierce, can you give us a quick history on the company?
Yeah, sure. Pierce was started by a guy by the name of Bill Pierce, and he was a funeral director and embalmer himself. Started with a company called Royal Bond out of St. Louis, Missouri, and then after a few years, he decided he wanted to start his own regional embalming fluid company here in the South. Back then, before FedEx and UPS, obviously everything was transported kind of a train or what have you. So he started a regional fluid company in the South, and he started what was called Mortician Supply Company. And that was started in 1935 here in Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
And we remained in that same building till 1987 until we moved into the current building. But through the years, you know, he grew and he grew and he became more than just a regional player. He acquired Eureka Fluid Company out of San Francisco, Natoro Fluid Company out of Los Angeles, and Armstrong Fluid Company out of around the Colorado area.
Wow.
So, you know, he just kept getting bigger and bigger, and here we are. His nephew ended up taking over the business after his death in 1998. And at the age of 74, he decided he had no exit strategy, no family that wanted it, and decided to partner with Wilbert. And that's kind of how I came into the mix. So in 2013, Wilbert acquired Pierce, and I gave up my Wilbert hat and switched over to the Pierce side.
Nice.
Well, I think it's doing you pretty well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my color's hanging in there good. I mean,
Yeah, bless your heart.
You know, my love all the years was always in the embalming side. I enjoyed the vault world. In fact, that's where I first met Ryan, was up in Ohio when I covered the Ohio market.
All right.
But the fluids thing's very much of an interest to me, so I enjoy what I'm doing.
Good. So with the embalming fluid companies, do we see consolidation like we did with the casket and others?
I think you've seen it, like I've mentioned before, and I think you're going to see a lot more of it. Right now, there's probably 10 fluid companies. There's probably some real small players that I'm not aware of, maybe very regionalized. But I'll make a prediction here on the effing show. I'd say in 10 years, you ready for this one? I think in 10 years, there's going to be 5 fluid companies left, and Pierce will be one of them. How about that?
All right.
One?
Let's do that. You heard it here first, folks.
Well, as Pierce continues to be a leader in the funeral profession, and you offer a number of different things outside of just fluid, can you share with us some of the products that Pierce offers?
Sure. We carry, I always say, roughly around 1,800 different items. Anything from obviously the cot and the eye caps and stuff like that, but parking cones, register books. We've got a line of urns. We got Jewish supplies, yarmulkes. We got plastic undergarments. We've got regular undergarments. I like to think if there's anything that a funeral home needs in their prep room, or for the most part, for most of their funeral home, we can pretty much cover it. From lighting, we have a variety of things.
Are y'all? I heard. Are y'all going to come out with a redneck line that we can use down this way? You know,
A redneck line of what?
Of products. You know, where they can. You know, they could use all kinds of different things at the funeral, from a shotgun blow off, and you know, you release a dove, you hit it. Anyway, we'll keep going. So, tell us, Lance, with Pierce Chemical, what does it do to set you apart from your competitors?
Good question, and it's easy to answer. I like to say that one of our taglines is "different by design," and I find myself telling that story when I'm talking to a funeral director, maybe why they might consider switching to us. And we, back in the 1960s, Mr. Pierce and one of his business partners started a guy named LG Darko, as a lot of people called him, Frederick. They developed the first and the only oil-based wax type fluid. And by that, I mean, we actually have a blending process where we take formaldehyde and water and all the other surfactants and stuff like that that's put into typical embalming fluid. But we've also developed a blending process to infuse waxes and oil into the embalming fluid so that the embalmer is actually injecting a humectant, if you will, inside the body. So it's going to give the body a more lifelike feel, not so rigid and firm, and a better color. We just truly believe that if you try it, the color stays with the body. And with bodies being delayed, the viewing being delayed a lot longer today, in the 60s, maybe a person died on Saturday, we'd bury him on Tuesday, maybe even on Monday. I mean, it was fairly fast, 2-3 days. But today we're seeing a week and a half. So the dehydration issue is becoming a bigger thing. So by injecting that waxes and oils in along with your fluid, it fights it. But saying that, we also make, through the acquisition of some of those other fluid companies, we have the formulas to make those fast firming fluids. So if you like that, we offer that. But we're a big believer in the oil-based fluids.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Lance, next week is the start of the ICCFA convention in Nashville.
Yep.
What can we expect from the Pierce booth?
Well, without running it, it's a big year. The Pierce Duotronic embalming machine. Speaking of that, a lot of people don't know that the Duotronic is manufactured by us. That was something that came along with the Royal Bond Company. But that we're celebrating the 50th, I don't know if you call it a birthday, anniversary, but we're going to probably have a little party at the ICCFA.
Right.
So come by our booth. Maybe,
that's all you got to do is tell me party booth. I'm there.
so stop by. We're going to have some specials on the Duotronic, the lowest price that you'll ever get. So love to see you guys. Love to meet some of the FN Nation followers.
Excellent. Well, if you could wave a magic wand over the profession and change one thing, what would it be?
Here we go. Yeah. I don't know that it would be the profession, but probably just our business in general. One of the things I find when I'm telling people that what I do or what I used to do, people always say, so you're going to be cremated or you're going to be embalmed? Mm-hmm. And I'm always puzzled by that. And I always say, well, you can have both. So I think as funeral directors, arranging directors, if we could do a better job of making sure that concept of, hey, if you want cremation, we can fight it all we want, but we're not going to win. I mean, cremation's here, but I think if we can convince people to embalm, have a viewing, because I think from my own experience, without viewing, you can't move forward. I
think that's a brilliant statement you just made. Seriously, that we're in some respects our own worst enemy, and I think we need to step up our game by letting a family know just because you're cremated doesn't mean we can't have visitation and viewing. So
yeah,
well done there.
I remember making death calls and asking the question, do you want, it was back when the rule came out, you got to ask for permission to embalm, and families looking at me like, what else would you do? And I'm sure that's not the case today. I haven't made a death call in 20 years, but I'm quite sure that that's almost could be even the opposite way. What do you mean embalm?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Lance, let's do something new. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and you just go quick. Okay.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Favorite embalming fluid?
Triton 28.
Favorite basketball team?
Oh, I'm not a college basketball fan, but the NBA is Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay. Femoral or jugular artery?
Trick question there. Carotid.
Oh,
Good one, Ryan.
good.
Carotid.
Okay. Beer or wine?
Oh, it depends on who I'm with. If I'm having a cigar with Jeff, probably a beer.
All right.
So I plan to do that at ICCFA.
We've got to find us a spot.
All right. I think the commander has one more question for you as well.
As we get ready to bid adieu until we see you down in Nashville, did I see on Facebook that you're doing a half Ironman triathlon? Is this some type of like April Fool's joke, or did you get
I drank too much fluid?
Are you drinking this stuff? Are you taking like runner's Viagra? What are you doing here?
A little of both, everything. No, I'm juicing. I'm doing it all. No, yeah, that's true. It'll be my second one. In fact, when we finish this up today, I'm heading out to Oceanside, California. And so we'll be doing a 70.3 half Ironman. So
Nice.
if I'm not walking too good next week, that's it. And I've got a new one for the F Nation. Okay. I know you guys played the WTF.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's where's the finish line?
Where's the finish
Get
line?
it? Where's the finish line?
Yeah.
Hey, get us a picture of you crossing the finish line. Can you do that?
I can. I'll make sure I get that to you.
All right. What
Excellent.
I'm really looking forward to is make sure you're standing up, not low crawling. Fair enough?
Not doing the log roll across.
Yeah, that would be me. I'd be standing there with a cigar saying, damn, you can run, boy. You badass. Anyway, so thank you so much for coming on here. We're going to see you in a couple of weeks, Lance.
All right, we'll see you.
Take care.
Hey, and thanks to Pierce for being a sponsor with us, too. We love you guys there.
All right, thanks for having us on.
Take
Talk to you
care,
guys.
buddy.
See you, Ryan.
Well, Jeff, this interview segment was brought to us by our friends at Sitch Casket, and we have a brand new promo for them. They're going to be giving away a casket a month free for the next year. So
Wow.
let's roll that promo. Hey, FNers, got a brand new special from our sponsor, Sitch Casket. In China, it's the year of the rooster. In the United States, the Sitches declared it the year of the funeral director. So to celebrate, they're going to be giving away a free casket starting in April every month for the remainder of the year. No entry fee. It's open to all funeral homes and their employees, so your entire staff can register to win. You go to sitchcasket.com or rethinkyourcaskets.com/year-FD to enter to win. You only need to enter one time, and you'll be in the drawing every month. Each month they're going to be drawing a free casket model from their line. It's going to be really huge and exciting, so make sure you celebrate with Sitch. Go to sitchcasket.com to enter. And if you're going to be at ICCFA in Nashville, make sure you stop by the Sitch booth. It's going to be something like we've never seen before, and at the end of the day, it's something we should expect from a disruptor like Sitch. All right, Jeff, spotlight segment on a funeral director. Where are we traveling to this week?
You know, I figured we'd just take a little different time out and our hearts and minds go out to the funeral directors over in the UK.
Yeah.
That terrorist attack, they're dealing with families, they're dealing with nations' feelings. We have an American that was killed there, and, you know, hats off to and spotlight on the American funeral home that's dealing with that.
Yeah.
But, you know what? Times of tragedy, it's interesting. Our kinsmen, if you will, step up and out. And thank you to the UK funeral directors for doing a great job beforehand, because we know that you will. Our hearts and minds are with you.
Absolutely. Great spotlight. The spotlight segment was brought to us by Pierce Chemical. Let's roll that promo.
Pierce is the Bomber's choice for fluids and over 1,800 different prep room supplies in stock. Visit us at piercechemical.com to learn more about Pierce.
It's time to move on to our WTF segment, Jeff, and this one is a humorous look at the funeral profession. So I see the sign on the side of this tank hearse that says Chicago Funeral Directors. I don't know if that's real or that's a joke or if it's a play off all of the.
Well, it has to be real. I found it on the internet. Okay.
Oh, that changes everything.
Right. There was actually a story that Chicago funeral directors are having trouble there for their security.
Sure.
They're getting shot at. They don't know what color to wear at a funeral. So I thought this would be appropriate, maybe a hearse that they can use in the future to try to get to the cemetery in Chicago. That's it. You know what? If you, it's good for business is all I'm saying.
All right. Our WTF segment was brought to us by United Community Bank, Mr. Alan Mulligan. Let's roll that promo.
Shifting trends in family choices, expanding corporate ownership, rising costs. The funeral and death care industry is changing with each new year. At United Community Bank, our team of funeral and death care lending specialists understand the need for capital for acquisitions, expansions, renovations, equipment upgrades, and more. And we make the loan application process as quick and easy as possible.
We really are a community bank at heart, and we really are the bank that service built. We do have many products that are specifically designed for small business, and that really is a big focus of the bank. And that's an area that we want to continue to focus on, that we bring these unique solutions to small businesses.
United Community Bank has the industry knowledge, resources, and the team in place to help make your goals a reality.
Jeff, this wraps up episode 70. So next week we'll have an episode right before ICCFA, and then we'll be coming to the peeps live from Nashville after that.
That's it. Next week, we're going to have interesting guest on about a class action lawsuit within the funeral industry.
Woo-hoo.
You're going to want to be signed. You're going to want to see this one too.
I can't believe you got Judge Judy. That's going to be awesome.
I got who?
Judge Judy.
Yeah, no, Judge Judy. That's a good one right there. Judge Wapner. He's dead.
Okay. All right, UFNers. We appreciate the love. Make sure you're engaging with us on social. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this. Gosh, we get so many emails from everybody that love what we're doing. Share this. Get it out there. Put it in all the funeral groups. So until next time, have a great effing week.
Out here. Later.